In June of 1969, fans of the original Star Trek series were shocked to learn that there would be no more episodes coming their way. NBC had made the decision that due to the low Nielsen ratings, the show was just not viable to continue on. Fans protested and signed petitions to get the show back on the air, but again, NBC was firm in their decision. No more Star Trek due to the low Nielsen ratings.
What are those Nielsens the alien keeps talking about, Mr. Spock?
If I remember my history correctly, Captain, Nielsens were a primitive system of estimating television viewers once used in the mid-20th century.
4 years later, in March of 1973, Paramount, or rather NBC, would announce that Star Trek fans would have a new series coming their way to continue the voyages of Kirk and crew aboard the USS Enterprise with Star Trek the Animated Series. But would this be a show that would improve Star Trek, make people look forward to more episodes and more adventures with Kirk and crew? In September of 1973, fans of the original Star Trek got to see what NBC had in store for them. The show lasted 2 seasons, and it was canceled due to, once again, low ratings. But was this show any good? Now, to be fair about it, I was too young. I don't even remember this thing. And the newest TV show for me was Star Trek The Next Generation. I heard about the animated series, and I finally got to see an episode from it back in the late 80s, but it's only recently that I started watching it just to see what it was really like. And oh my God, the animation was just so bad for this series. There were other cartoons out there back then. The 1972-73 animated series Gotcha Man, or as it was called in the late 70s in the United States, Battle for the Planets. Star Trek, the animation, the drawings, it was just so bad. The stories were weak. And the one thing that really irritated me when I watched several episodes from this series was the acting, the voice acting from the 3 lead characters, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. It was terrible. It really was. It was almost like they were just there for the check, and they really didn't give a care about the quality of the product that they were giving the audience. Now, to be fair about it, the animated series was a critically acclaimed series, and it was the first Star Trek series to win an Emmy Award when its second season received the 1975 Emmy for Outstanding Entertainment in Children's Series. Now, the funny thing about that was this cartoon was made for adults. It really wasn't designed for children, but it won an Emmy Award for children's program.
No matter where I've traveled in the galaxy, Jim, this bridge is more like home than anywhere else.
Yes, Commodore, I know the feeling.
To me, she was always like my child. I was there in the San Francisco Navy Yards when her unit components were built.
Listening to these people voice these characters, there was no excitement in their voices. Most of the time, there was really no emotion, at least none that I heard. And that was what really is sad about this. This is supposed to be the continuation of a series that so many people loved, and what they gave us was just so boring.
Correct, Commodore. Now, if you'll watch the star map, you'll see the Milky Way. Here is Beta Niobe, and here is Earth. It corresponds exactly with Arat.
Just listening to Leonard Nimoy alone and how he just voices Spock, there's no passion in this. That's what's so sad about this. Spock's voice, his normal speech pattern, it's basically the same thing throughout the series. Yes, Doctor. Allow me to explain. Captain, we are heading toward a nova. Jim, do you realize? You get where I'm going with this. There is no change, no voice pattern change at all. His tone is all flat and dull. And then, of course, there's the chemistry between the characters. In the original series, Spock and McCoy would always go at each other. But you don't get that here. You don't get any of that back and forth that so many people loved. This show, this cartoon, was just flat, dull. It was just boring. Now, I understand one of the reasons for making this into an animated series was because they were trying to save money. But damn, there's only so far you can go before it just gets stingy. These shots are used throughout this series. The same shots over and over again. It just felt like a watered down version of Star Trek, and it was just very disappointing to me. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. Have you seen Star Trek the Animated Series? Were you old enough to remember it when it first aired? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this one, so please drop them below and let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.